The hunt for oil is firing up the English countryside. We've been living with activists on a controversial drill site. Here is exactly where the wellhead would go. We see inside their closely guarded compound. We meet the people prepared to risk their freedom.
If that has been the cost of supporting the camp, then it's something that we had to do.
If nobody's willing to do stuff like this, then nothing's going to happen.
But we worked so hard to sort it all out, and now I feel like this is my home.
I don't want to get into any trouble. I just want the drill to stop.
Here in the Surrey Hills, trouble is brewing. Oil has been found, and permission's been given to drill here. It's an area of outstanding natural beauty. A local action group fought the oil company Europa for 8 years, and when that failed, the activists, or protectors as they call themselves, moved in. This is their roadside camp, but in the woods behind where the drill will go, they've built something a lot more eye-catching: the fort. It's built to keep the oil company out, and for the moment we're kept out too.
So you don't feel like you're giving anything up? It's cold, it's a lot of days, you know.
Yeah.
It's worth it.
I feel like I'm giving things.
all going to be
I've got this yearning to go to the cinema. I haven't been to the cinema for ages. I want to go to the cinema with a couple of mates, have a nice glass of wine, go in and see a good film.
It's a slow tumble at first when you start doing this type of thing, and then it's an event. It's always an event that kicks you off. This coming down here, and when we were first here, there was nothing. There was trees and bracken and hills everywhere.
Yeah.
But we worked so hard to sort it all out, and now I feel like this is my home.
How do you feel about the sort of public perception? Some people have a dim view.
Well, we're unwashed swampies, apparently.
Yeah.
You're all swampies?
Yeah.
Or crusty hippies.
Yeah.
Okay.
Crusties.
Well, swampy is quite inspirational, isn't it?
Yeah. We don't mind
Do you even
swampy.
know who he is? Do you know who
No,
he is?
don't have a clue. And it has a knock-on effect.
Katie might not remember Swampy, a well-known eco-warrior in the 90s, but like him, she is prepared to take direct action. Earlier that day, along with others from the camp, she was near a field where drilling is already going on. Activists here have been doing what they call a slow walk, as to prevent lorries from bringing in new equipment.
Obviously, we're not going to stop everyone using fuel by tomorrow, are we? It's going to take a long time, but if nobody's willing to do stuff like this and try and motivate people, then nothing's going to happen. And it's so beautiful around here, like, why would you want to ruin it?
After 2 hours, the lorry's only moved half a mile. Then, suddenly, it's allowed to speed up. But waiting for it further down the road is another slow walker. The police are starting to run out of patience.
Yes, think of the knock-on effect. One family, this is for everybody.
So are you getting ready to go in front
I
of the
will
truck?
do if I need to, but I don't want to get any warnings.
Oh, for crying out loud.
I'm arresting you on suspicion of intimidation or annoyance by violence to prevent lawful activity.
I've never had a problem with the police. They've always been on working with the people and protecting me. This is not protecting me, is it?
As soon as we know.
Wow, that looks awesome.
Back at the main site with Leslie still in custody, it's time for much needed hot food. A rota's been organised by local supporters. The camp survives on donations like this.
Made it all proper.
This is your front door.
After they've had their lasagna, Callum agrees to take us into the fort.
That, behind that art there, that is my bedroom. I live on the first floor in that room. It's quite intimidating, isn't it? We actually got on the drill site.
So literally this is where it would go?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's have a look.
This isn't usually shown to outsiders. The activists don't want to reveal their tactics.
That's the entrance to my room. This is where we store all the food. If we get snowed in, say, or in case of evictions. This is all, well, we've got a lot of other food stored around in case the kitchen gets got to.
Yeah, okay.
That is El Toilet.
The camp.
You don't want to be looking in there. Those places are hell on earth.
So, how long do you reckon you'll be here?
Until the end. Until, well, at least until this place is done, I'll be here, and then I'll move on to the next place that needs us.
Do you think you'll stop it?
In the end, yeah, of course we'll.
So it's about 9:30 at night now, and it's getting quite cold. But luckily, the protectors here have given us the best spot to sleep in. So it's got its own little burner here. This is where everyone has been sitting all night. Perfect. Just got to be a little bit careful about that in the night.
Well, the kettle's already been boiled. I've had my 3rd cup of tea now. But if you'd like a cup of tea, there's water waiting for you.
Christopher is usually first up. He guards the entrance.
Morning.
Pheasant?
I think it's a pheasant, yes.
How long have you been doing this, living this life?
5 years. 5 years, yeah. Anti-fracking 5 years. I've been an activist, let's call it, for 17.
What got you into it? What moved you enough to...
My grandchildren. I want my grandchildren to have the countryside in the same way as I did. I want them to have the country lanes, the ancient bridges.
Katie!
Katie's mum has come to pick her up to take her to college.
Taxi!
She's juggling studying with campaigning, and she spends most nights in the fort.
Off to college?
Yep.
Yeah. How does that feel? It's going into a totally different world.
Everyone always laughs at me because I don't have my eyebrows on. I've got makeup in my bag, but it's too dark to do it in there.
Okay.
Then Leslie turns up. She's spent much of last night in a police cell.
I wasn't able to sleep when I got back because the mind's just been racing.
You've never been in trouble with police before. What kind of got you on this path?
Well, I suffer with depression and I live at the other side of Surrey, and I come up to the Surrey Hills. I come up here in my van and enjoy the beauty here and the peace and the tranquility, and it just sets you all back to square one again. And I heard that they wanted to drill for oil up here, and it's just shocking. Not here, not in my backyard, no.
When the government planning inspector allowed drilling to go ahead at Leith Hill, he ruled that the short-term harm was outweighed by the local and national benefits.
People still say you need oil to
I've
create everything.
I've bought synthetic oil.
Right.
We make oil, we can synthesise oil, therefore we don't need to dig it out of the ground anymore.
But the fact is that oil is part of the energy mix, and getting stuff in from abroad is more damaging to the environment in that sense.
Yes, absolutely, I agree. Shipping it in, that's not good for the environment either, is it? How about we stop using oil?
Nobody wants this.
The campaign has drawn in even more unlikely protesters. Take a look at this, the politest arrest you're ever likely to see.
I feel very, very, very worried, not just, for my own children, but for yours.
Well, in that case, unfortunately, I'm going to have to arrest you on suspicion of obstruction.
Well, I thought, I'll have a chat with them and tell them why I think it's important for us to be looking at this site and so forth. And it all got out of hand, really, really quickly.
I mean, you don't have a sort of history of being arrested and...
No, actually not.
At her home, I meet Jackie and her friend Amanda. She was also arrested for slow walking.
The Leith Hill Action Group, God bless them, have been fighting this for 8-9 years now. These are proper middle-class, Middle England people who feel very strongly that you shouldn't be drilling for oil in an area of ancient woodland. If these places can be drilled, then anywhere can be drilled.
Jackie and Amanda's arrest has been tough on their families.
There certainly was no intention on our part to get into trouble.
No, absolutely.
But if that has been the cost of supporting the camp and the cost of bringing it to public attention, then it's something that we had to do. Sorry, darling, it's just... Sorry, I'm such an idiot. Like I say, if we could sit down and have tea and have a talk and listen to each other, I think we might make more progress.
So why were you in front of a truck then?
Just wanted to have tea and a chat. Didn't get any tea. Didn't get much of a chat.
Back on camp, everything has changed. The oil company is going to the High Court to try to get the activists evicted. A warning system is tested. They're worried the bailiffs could turn up at any time. So there's now a real sense of urgency here. Over the last few hours they've been building up the fortress. They've extended the tunnel system and they've also got positions in trees. And it seems that some are willing to lock themselves in, so it's going to take a lot for the bailiffs and the police to get them out of here.
We can pull one another down, uphill one another up. The system is set.
So this morning is even more freezing than possible the nights before. Look at this ice. So I think what's interesting is talking to a lot of local people that a lot of them just don't think it can happen here because it's so famous and so beautiful. But the fact is that it is happening. Will be just over there. So I wonder whether public opinion after it starts will start to change. Because of the court case, many in the camp now don't want to show their faces, but Christopher is still at the entrance.
We're just waiting for the next move, Claire. It's really that simple. I've been living here now in the wood for about 4 months. Haven't seen any notices personally. So until somebody comes along and serves me a notice or a constable asks me to move on, we go from there.
Just keep warm and keep waiting.
Yeah.
With an eviction now hanging over them, has it all been worth it?
To have spread awareness to the local people to see if they could do more stuff, yes, it's been worth it.
You're not disheartened?
Yes, of course I am. I didn't intend to get arrested at all. I don't want to get into any trouble. I just want the drill to stop.
So we didn't know it at the time, but this was to be our last visit. The court order not only allows the eviction of the activists, but also stops anyone from going to the camp that might be doing something to help the people living there. Lawyers say this includes journalists. Unsurprisingly, it scared off much of the local support. We asked, but the oil company, Europa, won't talk to us about any of this. So at the moment, the camp is still there waiting. No one knows when the drilling on Leith Hill might start.